Okay, so we have an acceleration timer here. Yeah, let's toggle that. And time to see if this MG GT can hit 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in the published 8.5 seconds, or if that acceleration timer is just a gimmick. All right, let's do this. When we think of cars in the 1 million peso price level, we often think slow, boring, soft, which is why this MG GT shocked me to the bone. It delivered one of the most unexpected performance levels for the price, because for only 1,193,888 Philippine pesos, it can put many, if not all, compact sports sedans to shame. MG has truly flexed their racing muscle with this MG GT, and I'm pretty sure that you are really curious to know why this vehicle has gotten a lot of praise from me, considering that we are just starting the video. Well, dude pare, stay tuned because you are about to find out. Here at Reagan's Rides, we do car reviews of SUVs, sports cars, trucks, and everything in between. So subscribe and hit the bell. See, that's the sad part about the current state of the auto industry here in the Philippines, especially if you are a budding enthusiast. There are no true affordable performance options out there anymore. See, I remember when I was in high school, you can buy a big body Toyota Corolla or an EK Honda Civic or a Mitsubishi Lancer for an affordable price. Say around 600,000 Philippine pesos brand new. Yeah, and you can set it up to whatever race spec that you want. Nowadays, in order for you to get some pretty decent engine numbers from the factory, you're already looking at spending at least 1.5 million Philippine pesos or higher, which is hardly affordable for a, let's say, a high school guy or a college dude. So now, if you're a budding enthusiast, you're just limited to, say, the Toyota Vios or the Honda City, which may be affordable if 900,000 to a million Philippine pesos is affordable, but the low engine output means that you're severely limited. You can dress up a Vios or a City to look fast, but that power output will not tickle your nutsack. Which is why the MG GT is such an important car, especially for those who want affordable speed. It has a 1.5-liter Turbo 4 that can deliver 159 horsepower, well, at least on paper, and 250 Newton meters of torque. Now, I said on paper because that's what the brochure from MG Philippines says, but I did my research online, and apparently the MG GT can actually do 170 horsepower. That's a pretty big difference. Now, pare, usually sedans in this segment would also come equipped with a CVT, but MG saw it fit to equip the GT with a 7-speed wet-type dual-clutch transmission. Now, I was a bit concerned with the DCT at first because I didn't really get the best DCT experience with the MG HS Trophy before. Pero pare, the dual-clutch of this MG GT has been tuned really, really well. The upshifts are lightning fast in sport mode, and when you use the paddles, oh boy, you better wear your brown pants, because baby, this car can really put the power down. I mean, wow, look at that. Woo! See, dude, you are getting Honda Civic turbo power here in a body that is as light as a Honda City. Now, you also have a truly responsive transmission here now, and I am really, really happy to say that. So if you're an enthusiast and you want fun, pare, forget about the others. The MG GT is the answer from the driving gods. And when it comes to looks, the MG GT also delivers. Oh, by the way, the MG GT here is the same as the MG5 from before, so that means it's in the same category as a Toyota Vios or a Honda City. But pare, when it comes to looks, this, my friends, is a knockout. I mean, I'm getting the full Euro vibe going on here, and when I squint my eyes a little bit, yeah, dude, I'm getting some Mercedes CLA design cues here and there. Yeah, plus maybe the Hyundai Elantra N. Well, I guess it just depends on how I squint my eyes. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, we also have a ferocious front mug here that has these full LED lighting units, plus that gaping wide front grille that goes so well with this bright yellow paint job. Now, the side profile here has a fastback silhouette that is in line with this MG GT's sporty nature. Now, guys, I like yellow on cars. I really like yellow on cars. But I have to be honest with you, the hue of this yellow on the MG GT, it kind of reminds me of the airport taxis that we have here in Manila. Now, thankfully, the MG GT comes with sporty 17-inch alloy wheels there that will help to separate it from a NAIA airport taxi. Now, as for the mechanical bits, well, the MG GT has 4-wheel disc brakes, and for the suspension, it rides on MacPherson's up front and a torsion beam at the back. MG has always given us nicely designed cabins, and the same can be said for this MG GT. You see, we get leather seats here, although I believe these are faux leather, but the driver's seat gets power adjustment. We also have a tilting leather wrap steering wheel here. Unfortunately, it only just tilts, it doesn't really telescope, which is a bit of a bummer there. But at least we do have a full digital instrument gauge cluster there, which is quite engaging to look at. The thing is, yeah, it took me a while to get used to the full digital numerical format here because I am an old school Tito, and yeah, I prefer to have needles and gauges. Thank you very much. We also have a 10-inch touchscreen infotainment system here that is quite responsive, and it also comes equipped with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and the image of a 360-degree view camera. Now, that is pretty impressive considering the price that this MG GT is coming in. Now, for some nitpicks, of course, we don't get the telescoping steering wheel, which might be a bummer for some taller drivers out there. And most of the critical controls are also still integrated into this single infotainment screen right here. You see, this is the screen for your climate control system. Yeah, and I would have wanted a separate screen for that, or another indicator on what your climate control is doing. So yeah, and we also have the driver settings here, the drive settings that are also baked into this infotainment system. See, yeah, we don't get, separate buttons for that as well. But at least MG already put a row of physical buttons underneath this screen, which can toggle your climate control, your fan speed, your volume, and of course the home button right there. Now we also have a nice little sunroof there, and it's a nice and driver-centric cabin here. Really nice to look at, although the materials are still hard plastics, which is quite typical in this price category, to be honest. And yeah, for $1 million, $1 million Philippine pesos, there's really nothing to complain. The steering feel has also greatly improved from the other MG offerings. You get 3 steering modes here, with urban being the lightest and dynamic being the heftiest. Now, I kept it in dynamic most of the time, but even if you just keep it in normal mode, the normal steering mode, yeah, the steering response is fairly sharp. However, at really high speeds, and I mean like close to the to the published 215 kilometers per hour top speed, well, the steering, yeah, even if you're in dynamic mode, can use a little bit more heft. I guess that's the drawback of having an electric power assist system in this vehicle. Pero pare, I highly doubt it. I highly doubt that most people will even take it up to that level. Not saying that I did, but let's just say that 215 kilometers per hour published top speed, yeah pare, that's not a marketing gimmick. Handling is also above average, very well suited for spirited driving around the twisties. So that surprised me, considering that we just have eco-friendly Michelin premises here for tires. The fuel economy is also really good when you're eco driving. You see, I got 12 kilometers per liter in light city drives, and I was able to take it up to 20 kilometers per liter on the highway. Now that, my friends, is the dual clutch working its magic to deliver to you the best fuel economy that it can give. And speaking of DCT, well, the dual clutch is surprisingly manageable at stop and go traffic. And yeah, aside from the usual delay that you get in first gear, which is normal for DCTs, well, it's not really too jerky when you're driving slowly around town. It seems that MG has truly improved the tuning, the tuning of the transmission of this MG GT. Now, as for the safety bits, well, the MG GT also delivers. As you're seeing on your screen, we do get a decent level of safety features here, though I would have wanted to get blind spot monitoring at least. And I also hope that they change the cruise control stock to something that's a little bit more easier to use, like a set of buttons on the steering wheel. Now, as for the back seat, well, pare, it's as expected from any subcompact sedan. It's roomy enough for two Asian dudes. You can probably fit a third one there if you like. As for the amenities, well, you do get the usual stuff like rear AC vents and USB charge ports. But unfortunately, we don't really get center armrest there at the back. The rear end design continues to take inspiration from a Mercedes CLA. Now, I don't blame MG for doing that, because this rear end, mga pare, yeah, it's a thing of beauty. You see, we get the full LED taillight units here. We have an integrated ducktail spoiler on the trunk lid. Plus, we have a pair of fake dual exhaust pipe finishers that are integrated on the rear bumper. Now, here's the thing. When you look underneath that rear bumper, you'll see that the MG GT does come with a pair of actual exhaust pipes. So why they didn't make it go into the exhaust pipe finishers here is beyond me. They could have just punched a hole here, put in a little bit more pipe, and these things would actually be real. But well, it is what it is. Now, anyway, when you pop open this trunk lid, you'll see that the MG GT gives you over 500 liters of cargo capacity, which, as you can see, is good enough for a pair of medium-sized luggage. MG went out and made a sports car, named it a GT, and priced it as low as a taxi. It's the perfect combination to tickle the fancy of budding enthusiasts who are looking for a starter car that will not put them to sleep. The MG GT delivers in all the right areas of the drive with a performance level that will make you forget about the other contenders out there. After driving and reviewing hundreds of cars, it takes a lot to surprise me. And yet, for the price category it comes in, this MG GT has truly surprised me and put a big smile on my face. Thanks for watching. Ready? Okay, 8.5. 8.5, 0 to 100 in 8.5. It's not a gimmick.